Will Diablo Immortal have autoplay? What is up, my friends? My name is Echo and we're back on the channel with another Diablo Immortal video focusing on the question that you guys have all been asking in the comments section below, and that is, will Diablo Immortal have an autoplay feature? And yes, guys, I do look at and listen to all your comments down below, so make sure you are active there. I will see it. Also, before we get into the topic, make sure you sub the channel, ring the bell. We're gonna have daily Diablo Immortal videos for you guys once this game does go live, and it's looking more and more like this is going to be sooner and sooner, so that is really exciting for me, thinking that I'm actually gonna have this game be able to play it with you guys on a daily basis. So let's talk about autoplay first. Autoplay is a feature that has been put into some mobile games, not all, actually far from all, and there is a main reason. Let's look at people that play mobile games. We have people that maybe can't afford or just don't have consoles or computers. We have young children that maybe just don't have those things yet either. We have professionals, people who are working, adults. We have people with children that don't have the time to sit in front of their console or PC and play for hours on end. These are some of the people that play mobile games. And then we have some hardcore enthusiasts who just love mobile games, love the touchscreen platform, and play games for hours on end on their mobile devices. So really, it's a wide array of people. But autoplay was developed in some games for those people, and let's use a working professional with children. So for me, for example, the reason that I got into mobile games was I was a teacher. I worked for 15 years as a teacher before I went full-time right now on YouTube. So I was a teacher during the day, a husband, a father of 2 boys, and someone that really was into my fitness, so I would go and spend an hour or 2 at the gym every day. I didn't have time in the evenings anymore to play games on PC, which is what I was primarily about 5 years ago. I was a PC gamer. So I found some games that I fell in love with on mobile, one of them being Clash of Clans, which is why I created my main channel 4 years ago, which is now the reason why I'm full-time on YouTube. We're starting this new one right here for Diablo Immortal, which is extremely exciting. But with an audience that doesn't have the time to spend and grind games all day long, or that's even exaggerating, for maybe a few hours a day, the autoplay feature has come to fruition. It was invented. And there are 2 ways that autoplay can be done and is used inside of mobile gaming. One way I feel is really bad, the other way I feel is not so great. So I guess you can get my feeling on autoplay so far. First of all, the one that's really bad are when you log off of certain games, the game will still play for you. Battles will still be happening in the background, you will still be earning loot, and then when you log onto the game, well, there it is right there for you. All your loot is there, and you got all these upgrades. You could upgrade heroes and stuff like that because it was playing while you were gone. Now, I said that I don't like it. I don't like it as my primary hardcore game. If there's a game that I want to spend 5 or 10 minutes on a day, that's a great feature. But that wouldn't be the main game that I'm spending my life and my mind focusing on the way Diablo Immortal is going to. So that's one autoplay feature. That's pretty extreme. Then you have the autoplay feature where you can set your troops or your characters or whatever it is for that game to automatically compete and complete different missions. Let's use, for example, if you have to send your hero out and gather a certain number of farming resources, you could hit auto and it will go, and for an hour or 2, it will go farm and gather all the resources you need, bring them back, and then you'll have them and you'll be able to use them. You don't actually have to play the game to do that. Or even sometimes auto battling. There's many auto battlers out there where you will set it on auto and the fights will happen automatically. We know that this has not been a feature in any other Diablo games, but many of you are concerned because we're going onto a mobile device where this feature is a thing. It is actually a thing on some PC games too, but that's not the point. A lot of people are really worried about Diablo Immortal having autoplay. So let's talk about why autoplay is bad. Autoplay is bad for one sole purpose. It takes out the grind and it takes away from the true gamer hardcore experience, because you who would be playing a game, because usually they have an option, you can either autoplay or play manually. If you're playing manually, you would see the same progress as someone who sets it on autoplay for 2 hours and gets the same progress, and that isn't fair. Now, if autoplay was some crazy disadvantage to someone, so if you were to play manually, you'd get 100% of the rewards in an hour's time, where if you put it on autoplay, you'd only receive 25%. That's a little bit more fair in my opinion, because you're getting a huge disadvantage from using the autoplay feature, and you're getting a massive advantage from playing it yourself. But for me, I don't think, and I am pretty sure after speaking with the developers at 2019 BlizzCon, at that point in time, there was no intention of having an autoplay feature inside of the game. They knew how people felt about that autoplay feature, and that it does take away from the core gaming experience, and it gives a little bit of a fluff, and people may feel, oh, well, this is just a cash grab. We hear that a lot when people think about mobile games. Mobile games are cash grabs. They're only there to make money. And that's another topic in itself, by the way. But they don't want to have that feel. They want to have Diablo, like Diablo 2, like Diablo 3, like what we're going to see in Diablo 4, on a mobile device in the form of Diablo Immortal. So it's still going to be Diablo. It's going to still have the core mechanics, just done in a different way. We're looking at these controls rather than a mouse and keyboard, or rather than a controller, but they still want it to be Diablo. And if you guys have checked out my lore series, we're talking about what the story is between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, because the story of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, in between those, is Diablo Immortal. Like I said, this is really important to the story of Diablo. It is not just a game that's being like repackaged. It's not Diablo 3 repackaged into a new game for mobile. We're actually looking at another game from the entire series that's gonna fill in the lore, fill in the story. So, knowing that, knowing how important the importance of Diablo Immortal with the Diablo timeline, and knowing Blizzard personally, knowing how they feel and what they want to portray with this game, I would confidently say that there is not going to be an autoplay feature in this game. Now, if there is an autoplay feature, which I highly doubt, I think it would be a massive mistake if they were to include that. I think that it would have some massive rewards for someone playing manually, or a huge disadvantage for someone that is actually utilizing autoplay. If it were me personally, if I were the developer of this game, if I were creating it myself, I would not have an autoplay feature. And if for some reason I was forced to from the company above that's in control of the destiny of the game, I would fight for the game to have a massive advantage for someone who plays. I mean, before I mentioned 25% rewards gained if you do autoplay versus 100% if you play manually, I would fight for it to even be 10%, which would mean you would have to play 10 hours on auto to get the same rewards as you can get from 1 hour of manual play. Even that though, it still just doesn't seem right. It still seems to give that weird stigma that they are not going to want to have being a mobile game. What Blizzard wants is to put out a mobile game that stands up as a pillar on the mobile scene. They want their game to be the mobile game of hopefully 2020. Now, like I said earlier, I cover Clash of Clans on my main channel that I started 4 years ago. That game has been out for 7 years. They're coming up on 8 years, and Clash of Clans is still one of the best mobile games. It was built right, they listen to the community, and they do a lot of things to improve the game on a quarterly basis. I could see Blizzard utilizing Supercell's model, because Supercell are one of the leaders in mobile gaming, you know, using that model because they see it's a model for success and go along those lines. There's no reason why you can't take an example that's a really successful one, and then one that is loved by the community, and running your game along that model. Now, I'm getting a little bit off tangent because I'm getting excited about this. At the end of the day, if you came here for an answer, will Diablo Immortal have autoplay, yes or no? No one knows 100% the answer to that, except for the developers. And who knows, maybe it's still in their minds, I'm not sure. But like I said, I am very confident, almost sure that we will not see autoplay. And now here's the time in the video, like I do in every video, where I ask you guys a question. My question to you is, do you want autoplay in Diablo Immortal? Do you think having autoplay will help the game, or will make you want to play it more? If it had autoplay, would you play the game more than if it did not have autoplay? What I'm basically trying to do, and look at this treasure goblin, I love it. What I'm trying to do here is figure out if there is an audience that wants autoplay, because what I see right now, what I hear and what I read, everyone says no autoplay. Everyone is highly against the autoplay mechanic. So let me know, guys, if you are not against the autoplay mechanic, you have to let me know. Really curious as to what you guys have to say. Now, before we get out of here for today, guys, I want to remind you that the previous video that I put out on my channel is our episode 1, where I hook up with 9, who is the lore specialist from Diablo, and we jump into our first #1 lore video explaining the story that has not been told of Diablo Immortal. I'm very excited about this series because it's something that is just, it's not really being done for Diablo Immortal specifically. We don't really know the story. So in that video, we focus on the World Stone and a couple of characters that are key components to the development of Diablo and how that plays into Diablo Immortal. If you missed that first lore video, I will be linking it right here at the end of the video so that you can check it out. If you want to know, you need to know the lore, the story behind Diablo when you're in this world slaying demons like a beast. I hope you guys check out the video. Like I said, I'm going to put it right here. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see all you back here later on with another video at some point. Check them all out on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Let me know your thoughts below, and always remember, be good.